Welcome back to episode 2 of the Alt.tistic podcast. I am your host, Garrett, and with me we got Zach, my producer. It took us approximately one episode to lose our co-host. No, he's just, Davey's gone. He's like writing up a proposal or something right now, but it's also 10:15 at night. This is our take 2. We already had the entire program shut down on us once. I really hope it doesn't happen again.
Luckily, it was only 5 minutes into the episode.
Yes. Yeah. So we didn't get super far away in, because if we did, I would have just given up. I'm incredibly tired because I just got back from the St. Louis area. It was technically Muscuda, Illinois, which is about 20 minutes away from St. Louis. And I got back from that about 4 hours ago. So I've spent most of my day on the road. It's about a 6-hour drive from where I live. So I'm very tired. We'll see how this goes. 10 o'clock at night. Severe car lag, is that a thing?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, car lag, severe car lag. So I'll probably get a little delirious here into it. A lot of things happened. A lot of big, serious things. Not a lot that I feel confident enough to really dive too deep into. Alex Jones lost his Sandy Hook trial.
Well, lost. They were asking $150 million, and he has to pay 4 plus 40.
Yeah.
So only a third of the massive asking price.
Yeah, that happened. Bombings on Gaza, all that fun thing, but instead we're gonna have fun tonight. I'm tired. We're gonna have fun, and what better way to have fun than play this TikTok that crashed our system last time. It was so cringe, but when I saw it, I was just like, this we got to start the show off with. We're gonna start your week off with some uplifting gold, as Fleckus likes to say. But yeah, it's been floating around the internet a little bit. And I just think it's so friggin' funny.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. You got it?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, TikTok, I really need your help here on this one. I'm a teacher. I teach 5th and 6th grade, and this morning, I don't know, somehow the concept of pronouns came up. And
the basic way.
One of my students said, well, Miss Odell, did you even ask me my pronouns? And I was
Vanilla
like, whoa.
Mumford and Sons.
I hadn't actually asked him his pronouns, and I had called him a him, and I said, I'm so sorry. I haven't actually asked you what your pronouns are. And what are they? And he said, Banana said, banana and rock. And I was like, dude, no, like, don't mess around with, I was actually really upset because I thought he was making fun of it. And in fact, I'm still pretty sure he was making fun of it. And, but they all agreed, no, like, you can choose anything. Banana, rock, if you want banana and rock to be a pronoun, banana and rock's a pronoun. Is it? TikTok, tell me.
Oh, man. Gotta love how TikTok just cut her off and said, yeah, okay, you're done there. First off, shout out to that kid. For going to school and going, actually, Miss So-and-so, I identify as Banana Rock. If I was that kid's dad, I'd be high-fiving him because he just caused his teacher to have a mental breakdown. Yep. She just, like, the first thing she does when confronted with that, she goes home from work, pulls out her phone, opens TikTok, an app mainly used by teenagers to young 20-somethings to do cringy dances to appropriated music, and go, guys, I need your help. My kid said he identified as Banana Rock. Is that a real thing? I don't know what's going on anymore. And just proceed to have like a freaking crisis trying to figure that out. Oh my gosh.
And she sort of believes it.
And she sort of believes
she used her pronouns.
Yeah, I know. Like, he says it and she goes, BS, but then goes along with it anyways. Like, come on. I mean, that video makes me want to have a son and put him in public school just to be a menace to his teachers. Like, all right, son. You know what'd be funny is if you go to school today and tell her that you identified as a Teletubby. And I want you to go around and make those weird noises and pat your belly all the time. That would be hilarious. Or identify as a dog and just start barking in class.
No, I saw one. I don't know if I would be able to find it, but this guy was filming some video in a library, and he had this girl filming him, and the person working in the library, whatever, says, "No, you can't film in here. You can't film in here." And he says, "Don't worry, she identifies as a camera." and the girl that works in the library was like, "Oh, okay."
I can't argue
She
with
couldn't
that.
say anything.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where you can literally make up it. Like, I'm surprised that the Apache helicopter meme has not become like a legit thing someone has pushed forward. Like, it's just a meme right now, but we're a couple steps off of someone just going around going, like doing that, and just like, don't worry, Teach, I'm on an Apache helicopter.
Is that why we legally allow the government to let us own 30mm guns and rocket pods so I can carry them around for self-defense?
Yeah, don't worry, Mr. Government Man. My rocket launcher identifies as a handgun. We'll be fine.
I actually identify as Taliban, so I'm allowed to have this RPG.
It's fine. I identify as CIA, so hand over all classified documents. I identify as the President of the United States. These are the laws I want to revoke, and these are the people I want to fire. And just, all right, here you go.
Like playing Monopoly with a 6-year-old.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, what are some other just fun things? Oh, right, there was a video that I saw right before we started of a person driving their motorcycle that I thought was kind of funny. It might be a little further down.
Donde
Oh,
está?
no, it's not. It might not be done processing. Well, instead, I said I was going to show you the Wheel of Fortune video. Let's do the wheel. Yeah, it's that one that's not processed yet.
Okay.
Let's do the Wheel of Fortune video. I wanted to show this one to you because I thought it was hilarious.
600.
N.
There happen to be 2 N's. Yep. Got a free play.
I.
Yep, 2 I's. $500.
G.
I thought you might say that. 2 G's.
2 egos. I thought you might say that. 2 G's.
I'd like to buy an E.
Yeah, we have 2 E's for you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I know. They got
Same ladies.
650.
R.
What?
And here come 3 R's. Yeah, you're very well here. Who's at $3,900?
What?
She goes S. For anyone listening, that was someone recording their TV, but it was just Wheel of Fortune, and they managed to hit NIGGERS.
And every single one of them hit.
Every single one of them hit. Pat Sajak, you clever bastard. I knew you were a white supremacist.
I knew you'd say that.
I knew you'd say that. I love that. He goes, I knew you'd say that. 2 G's. Oh, man. Well, those are some uplifting videos, I guess, for you to laugh at. Courtesy of us being half asleep. What story would you like to start out with? Because I'm kind of in the mood. I'm in a lighthearted mood. I kind of want to roast some Hollywood celebs real quick.
Nice.
So we can start with breaking news that Demi Lovato's a woman again. Well, she hasn't fully committed. If you go to her Instagram, it's still she, her, they, them. But she did a podcast interview, one that I did not feel like going out of my way to try to find a clip of because I've had a busy week. But where she basically is like, yeah, I've started adopting the she, her pronouns again. Also, by the way, I think she has an album coming out soon, so that might be the reason why she's starting to feel a little feminine. But she's like, oh yeah, I feel a little more like a she, her nowadays. I'm just a little fluid and all that. And it's just like, that's some BS. You just don't want to get any more flack from this. You become a they, them, and start communing with weird paranormal spirits for Discovery Plus. But someone posted this video on Telegram. I found a Telegram called Woman Moments. But I downloaded the video here, and this is just a classic Demi Lovato video. There it is. The guy with the purple background.
Oh,
But this is such a classic Demi Lovato moment. So to honor Demi Lovato now being a woman again, but still looking like
Hard for this.
A lot of people work really, really hard for their dreams, but it's not meant for everybody.
That's why you use auto-tune and I don't.
That was a little small, but
yep.
that's a classic clip. America's Got Talent. Demi Lovato goes, a lot of people work hard to get where they're at. And he's like, that's why you use auto-tune. And then freaking Simon Cowell does a spit take, and the man just starts doing a freaking robot dance on her. Oh, what a Chad moment. Oh, man. Yeah,
I saw something on Twitter where it's like, we're not in a recession until brothers can't afford to be more than two genders. And then someone put Demi Lovato's tweet about her going back to she, her in there. Yeah, we're in a recession now.
We're in a recession now, baby. Oh, man. And that was back when she was a woman. She actually looked pretty. Now she looks like one of the Spy Kids thumb minions.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I never listened to any of her music. Like, I never really... She's one of those, like, Disney Channel stars that just got popular because they were Disney Channel stars, and I don't think anyone really cares about the music they make, like her, Selena Gomez. Miley Cyrus managed to transcend that a little bit. At least I know a handful of her songs. Some of them are good. But, yeah, she's just, like... I don't even know what show she was from. I know she was in Camp Rock, but she was from some show.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then, classic Disney child star moment of transforming into a thumb. Like, it's a classic thing for every Disney Channel star to go off the deep end and start getting crazy. At least Jake Paul managed to recollect himself and become a UFC fighter.
Yeah, he's actually doing pretty well now.
Yeah, I know. And he's a little based, which I appreciate. I'm starting to agree more and more with Mr. Voldemort of YouTube, Nick Fuentes, of him saying the Paul brothers are examples of white excellence. More and more every day I go, you know what? He might be right. In other fun celebrity news, Brittany Griner, who I didn't know about until we started bargaining for her, but she's a WNBA player. Who got arrested in Russia. Was it drug trafficking or was it just like possession?
She had a weed pen, like a vape pen type thing.
A weed pen or a vape pen?
It was something like that. I'm assuming it's weed because that's what I've heard.
Okay. But she got sentenced to 9 years in prison. Meanwhile, we're going, here, please have these two drug arms dealers. We'll do anything to get back a WNBA player. Let's be honest, that's not worth it. No one watches the WNBA. Also, on top of that, I've seen interviews where she's just like, "Man, I hate the U.S. The U.S. is the worst. Oh, it's such a
we
racist
shouldn't
nation."
sing the national anthem."
Yeah, like, okay, if you don't feel like respecting our nation, F you. You get to go to prison. You broke the law. Like, we're not gonna. I can't. It boggles my mind that we want to trade like an actual terrorist.
The Merchant of Death, by the way.
Yeah, the Merchant of Death for a very manly-looking WNBA player. Like, not only is it just like you're an entertainer, but you're the bottom of the barrel entertainer. Like, at the very least, if you were like NHL, maybe we'd consider it. If you played for the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe we'd consider it. If you drove NASCAR, we'd consider it. Like, NFL, okay, fine. If it was William Shatner, okay, I get considering it. But WNBA, who is this? Oh, literally a woman who most people only know of by name because of this story. She ain't worth it. No. So, sorry about that, Brittany, but you got to take your L's in prison. Don't drop the soap because I'm sure, I'm sure the Russians are mistaking you for a dude. Have you seen pictures of her? I've seen no debates. It's like the Michelle Obama debate again, all over again, where people are convinced she's a dude. But as far as I'm aware, she's.
Well, it should be the other inmates that are worried about dropping the soap.
Yeah. So yeah. As far as I'm aware, she's a woman. You know, I can't say the same about a particular whatever. What is the wife of a president called? I'm
First
blanking.
lady.
First lady. Can't say much about an ex-first lady that can't go that far. Can't say that about her. But Brittany Griner, I'm confident in saying she might be a woman. The society we live in. The big here's the big Hollywood's burning news. So I don't know if you were aware of this. There was a Batgirl movie coming out. No, not many other people were. For background on this, I grew up a Batgirl fan. Batgirl, like I barely read comics growing up. I read three comic book runs. The first half of the New 52 Batgirl, the first 100 issues of Iron Man, so like right when he was first created, and then giant-sized X-Men, first couple of 100 issues of that. So I've had an affinity towards Batgirl. But this movie has been a disaster from the beginning. They cast Leslie Grace, who seems like a nice enough girl, but if you look at a picture of her and look at a picture of Batgirl, there's a little bit of a melanin difference, which in the corners of the internet that I am in and that a lot of people are in, we like our characters to look like the characters that they're supposed to be playing. I mean, that's just me. It's just called adapting source material. But, you know, she's a nice enough girl, whatever. I like the directors. Ali and Balil directed Bad Boys for Life, the best Bad Boys movie. And they did an interview with Critical Drinker. They seem like really nice, genuine dudes. And then Brendan Fraser was going to be the villain. And I live for Brendan Fraser. we were going through a bit of a Brendanazance there for a little bit, but
The entire movie would have been worth it just to see it.
just to see fat Brendan Fraser. But that movie got canceled. Cost $90 million to make, and Warner Brothers threw that away. But on top of that, they announced that they're kind of shifting focus away from HBO Max back into HBO, from my understanding. And they are canceling all Max projects, and they are trashing and getting rid of existing movies on their platform, which I don't know why you would do that. That's not costing you anything to have your own stuff on your own platform. From my understanding, like, that'd be like me buying a Blu-ray disc and just putting it on a shelf, and one person who comes over wants to watch it, and me going, well, fine then, I'm just going to throw it away. It's like, it's not costing me anything to be up there. But yeah, it makes no sense, but also we're not losing much. It's like super intelligent. Melissa McCarthy's movie from a couple years ago, American Pickle, Seth Rogen's crap. Screw Seth Rogen. Like, it's just crappy content, so it just makes no sense to me.
Well, unless they sell it
Yeah.
to another platform, which would make sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me because HBO Max is like the ultimate HBO. You could have everything HBO has on HBO Max, on top of all old TCM movies, the old King Kong, old Godzilla, Bicycle Thieves, all of the like Akira Kurosawa movies. So like you get classic cinema with it. They just put on A24 movies, which is like the mainstream art cinema of nowadays. But they're going, screw that. We're just going to focus on HBO, which currently maybe has one show worth talking about, and the rest are just getting memed. They have the new Game of Thrones show coming out that no one cares about. So it's a baffling decision, and I'm now fascinated. I watched a video where they were talking about how in the pre-screenings, it got a 30 out of 100. from the general audiences, and people who had gone and see it were like, this movie's so bad. So now my mind is going, what movie is so bad that DC said we're not even dealing with it? The reason it was going to go to HBO Max, but the HBO Max streaming guy said, we don't want it. So they were going to put it out in theaters, but then they decided, oh, that's not going to be a worthwhile investment. So I'm going, I really want to see a movie that was so bad that the streaming service rejected it, and that the business decided to throw away $90 million. Like, how bad would this thing be?
But I saw something that was like, we don't like the Batgirl movie, so we're not releasing it. And it's like, my brother in Christ, you made the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. You made Will Smith's Suicide Squad. Come on, my guy. But yeah, Twitter was not very happy about that, and they were like, oh, we were finally going to get our first trans person in a superhero movie. Oh no. I don't care about this, but the fact that the people who are upset about this are only complaining because, oh, ma Latina, or oh, ma trans person, to me it just kind of goes to show that maybe the priorities of this movie weren't the right priorities, and they were trying to appeal to the wrong audience. And then once they started doing the test screenings for just normal people, they were coming to realize maybe we should just start telling good stories.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to watch it now, but I'm also just like, it's not that big a deal. But maybe this is an indication, at the very least, Warner Brothers is trying to trying to turn the tables a little bit and go back towards traditional storytelling. Which, I mean, I've said this maybe to myself before, but I mean, with like Ripaverse and some of the people out there making independent content, I think this decade will be defined by independent content rising up. Last decade, it was like MCU, big blockbusters, but now people are starting to go away from that, and they want more original content. They want content that's not going to like go, oh, you're a cis straight white male? F you then. You know, they want just normal people making normal content, normal shows, creating normal stories. And with the success of Ripaverse, I think that's going to project for this decade, redefining itself as the decade of independent creators being able to go, hey guys, I don't hate you. Come watch my stuff. So like, you know, stuff like The Daily Wire, while I don't think they're succeeding quite as much as Ripa is. I mean, Terror on the Prairie was a pretty big deal. What Is a Woman blew up, and everybody was talking about it. Top Gun Maverick is like the cultural movie of the year. So I think people are just striving for something that's just not crazy leftists ranting and raving at you. Which is good, because for me, I want to be a screenwriter and I want to be able to tell stories. So maybe this will open the doors for me to go like, oh yeah, hey, who is willing to work for free because I'm a broke college student, and just make some independent media. But yeah, hate to see you go, back. Sorry, Leslie Grace. You seem like a nice enough people.
Sorry, Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, sorry, Brendan Fraser. I loved you in Doom Patrol. And it was cool to see you at that one NASCAR race. I have a picture of him on my phone.
What are you guys doing this Monday?
Yeah, that meme. I was there for that meme. I have a picture of him right after that meme was doing. Oh, man, that made me feel like the coolest person in the world. In more celebrity L news, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson split up. I don't know why I have that written there. It's funny. Kanye gets vindicated. Kanye knows your chance.
He also has a Kim Kardashian look-alike girlfriend.
Wait, are you talking
Pretty
about
much.
Julia Fox, or is it a new girl?
Hold on, I'll see if I can find a video.
Okay. That's kind of funny. He said, oh, you're going to leave me? I'm getting a replacement. That's a classic Kanye move. I guess while we're waiting, actually no, I'll wait for him to pull that up. Yeah, I never really cared about any of this. I saw Fleckus's On the Street video, where he was like, they were asking, hey, name 3 or 4 different countries other than the U.S., and they couldn't name a thing, but it was like, name 3 Kardashians, and it was like, my first response was, wait, there's more than 3. I could only name Kim Kardashian and then Kylie Jenner because she did that awful Pepsi commercial. I couldn't tell you any more than that. Does Caitlyn count? Well, no, he's the uncle or something. I don't know. He was an athlete who lost one of his legs. I'll just put it that way.
Now he's only got 2 left.
Now he's got 2 left. And he's got some chest cushions.
You know who else has got some chest cushions?
Oh no, Nancy Pelosi.
No. See, look. It's basically just.
Oh my gosh.
It's basically just. Yeah.
I find it funny. Was that Kanye and her squaring up to try to catch a ball?
That was somebody else that's, I guess, friends with Kanye.
Okay.
I don't know if he was there, but yeah, it's basically just a carbon copy of Kim Kardashian that isn't super famous and super rich, or at least I don't think she is.
Good for him. I love me some Kanye, but I don't know what the dude's doing. I can't ever get into his head. But I hope he's still doing the Christ arc. Let's see. Ezra Miller also got accused of grooming more minors. Oh, we can't say the G word. Crap. Of being a...
Nope. Who is Ezra Miller again?
He plays the Flash in the
yeah.
DC movies. His movie's still going on. They can back him, but we'll still get our groomer Flash. But he also got accused of leading a cult. So... my man's hiding out in Hawaii, prepping little kids and leading a cult, I guess. That's our Flash. I guess this was the other thing. This was big over the weekend, but you heard about the Addison Rae bikini thing, right?
Yeah.
Look, okay, so we're both Christians. And Addison Rae did an Adidas commercial where she wore a bikini that had like Father, Son, Holy Spirit in between the legs. I just don't have the energy to get pissed off about that. First off, I mean, yeah, it's in poor taste. And obviously she wouldn't do that if it was like Allah, 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 or whatever, the Muslim thing, Trinity is. Obviously she wouldn't do that. But like, what are you going to do? What do you expect from a Hollywood celebrity? Well, actually, she's a TikTok star who is trying to become a celebrity, I guess. But, I mean, you can't really hold people who don't believe in God to the standards of a Christian, I suppose.
I think some people on the right were kind of holding out hope for her because of the whole Trump UFC stuff.
Well, and the fact
but now, looking back on it, like, it was probably just either her trying to meet Trump because he's the president.
Yeah.
Or she's like she's not really conservative, but she tries to be like, oh, I like Trump,
Yeah. Well, it was like out of all of the whole TikTok generation, she was the only one that wasn't, she wasn't pulling an Olivia Rodrigo going on crazy on stage about abortions, and she didn't dress, well, from what I've seen, which is like very little, so I, maybe I'm wrong, but she never like dressed super provocatively, to put it gently. But so it was like, oh, she had more of an like the girl next door look to her, and she didn't look like a Scarlett Johansson or anything. So it was like, she looks like a normal girl just doing her thing. But, once you get popular and you're young, you just kind of tend to do that stuff. So I can't really bring myself to get mad at her, but this might be my, John Doyle always says about Emma Watson, I can fix her. This will be my I can fix her.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't even a good looking bikini either.
It was such a terrible design. It was literally just plain white with black text. Like, come on.
They probably designed that in Google Docs or something.
Yeah, they're just like, oh.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Times New Roman on the white background.
Yeah. And this was designed by a company that tries to skankify biblical stuff. So they were probably just drunk one night, which was like, what if we just put like the Father, the Son on each titty, and then put freaking Holy Spirit right on the pelvic area? And it's like, okay. And they just typed it up that night and designed it and shipped it out like that.
Oh, here we go.
Is that looks like freaking Comic Sans, or is that Times New Roman?
Times New Roman.
That's Times New Roman. Really? You're gonna design a blasphemous freaking piece of clothing article in the
$100.
Oh my gosh. $100 for a plain white bikini with Times New Roman text that says Father, Son, Holy. Not even like a cross icon or anything. Literally just text.
Yeah, you could go to Walmart and get a white bikini and just put some, like, go to the sports store or whatever, put some vinyl letters on it, and it'd be the same thing. It'd cost you $20.
It'd be better because at least the vinyl letters would look better, and it wouldn't just be Times New Roman print.
I mean, if you want Times New Roman, you could probably find it.
Yeah.
For less than $100.
Yeah, that is so stupid. Yeah, what's this called? Praying?
Yeah.
The clothing brand is called Praying.
So there's nothing too
Trophy wife, trucker hat.
These are like
give girls
16 to 21-year-old women trying to be funny.
Give girls money, trophy wife. Dudes equal hot.
Yeah.
What's that one say? A spirit.
These are like different languages of the same.
Oh, okay. So you can get it in Latin. This is so. I'm more offended at just the lazy design. Like, come on, if you're gonna
like this stuff is so easy. It's the same thing every time.
Man, I mean, if you're gonna do something crazy, go for it. Don't just like phone it in.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of how pricey clothing items go nowadays. It's just always the stupidest stuff. I could buy. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt with a freaking grizzly bear wearing shades and a scarf, and this cost me like $30-$40, and it looks twice as better. No, 100 times better than anything on this website that I'm seeing. Gosh, yeah, I'm more offended by just God's favorite. Yeah, I'm sure, with the freaking crop top. This is so stupid. Oh man, what are we doing?
I don't know. These are their best selling.
Those are their best selling.
See the worst selling?
Main character.
It's all the same stuff.
Main character, Lomo Hair Vetris. Is that what that says?
Love more, hate less.
Oh.
Is what it's supposed to say.
Love. Oh, is it doing that stupid thing? With
like, let's put it this way.
That is.
So it looks funny.
Yeah, that looks. It says. It looks like it says Lomo Hail Veritas. Like it's freaking Latin. I hate that kind of graphic design.
$165 for the hoodie and $150 for the sweats.
Dude, this is over. Who is unironically buying this?
$60 for this dress, sold out.
Oh my gosh. This makes me sad. This makes me more sad than the actual like bikini thing. The fact that like people are willing to buy these garbage products at such an expensive price. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess that's what we get for living in today's society. Am I right?
There's one company that sells a paper clip for like $100.
A paper? Oh my gosh. This reminds me of that one book on Amazon that was like how I earned $1,000 by selling this book, and it was a $1,000 copy of the book. Paperclip. Goodness gracious.
I don't know. I can't find it.
It doesn't really surprise me all that much. Well, we can look for it later. We don't need to be.
No, I'm
You're on pins now?
I'm on our cameras, if you want.
Wait, how much is that pin? Was that $400?
Which one?
That pin you were just on.
$840
For a pin?
No, a marker.
Oh my gosh, dude, who had... See, the thing is, too, even if I was rich enough to afford that, I still wouldn't get that. I'd be buying a $2 pin or a $2 marker, still.
You want to see some $315 pencil sharpener?
Gosh, what the heck? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is where the rich people shop.
Yeah, obviously. I do not...
$1,000.
For a pencil?
No, ballpoint pen.
Ballpoint. Oh my gosh, dude. Who in their right mind spends money on this? Because if you get the amount of disposable income to afford this kind of stuff, you have to be smart enough with your money not to buy this.
Look at that one. $1,200 for a picture frame.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This
Or a $275 magnifying glass.
This makes me sad. We need to get into this. We need to get into this kind of business. Let's freaking sell picture frames and upcharge them for $1,000. I'm sure this is like cheap plastic too. It's not like...
Well, it says it's sterling silver. I mean, I would assume this is pretty nice stuff. I mean,
yeah.
I would assume it's a pretty reputable company.
Yeah.
But also, who's buying it?
Yeah. Why would I get a silver picture frame?
Yeah, you want a
rich people.
Gold-plated ballpoint pen.
Yeah. Dude,
yeah,
this is why people don't respect rich folks. This is why people hate rich folks. It's not like capitalism or anything. It's just you have all that money and you're gonna spend it on the stupidest stuff. Like if I was a millionaire, I would buy a house and get the bare essentials and just anything that would functionally be cool to have.
Well, dude, if I were a millionaire, I'd do that. But if I were like a billionaire or a trillionaire,
if you were Elon Musk,
yeah, if I were Jeff Bezos, I'd be buying $1,000 ballpoint pens
just to say you could. Oh man. Gosh. We went way off track with that, but yeah. So one of the big things that happened this week, and I guess I'll allow you to jump in. First of all, I just got back from a state that is currently in the state of emergency over monkeypox. So it was a national health emergency, and now New York, New York, California, and Illinois are in states of emergency over monkeypox. 3 guesses why.
I wonder what's more prevalent in those 3 states that isn't prevalent in the South or the Midwest.
Yeah. Or what big cities that perpetuate a certain agenda preside in those states.
Who was in Chicago?
Yeah, who was in Chicago? Who could have foreseen that the state that has Chicago, the state that has New York City, the state that has L.A. and San Diego, or no, San Francisco. You got me on that. San Francisco, all somehow happen to have a problem with monkeypox. These big cities that push for big lightsaber fights to keep it child friendly. Who could have foreseen this? But yeah, I was just like, I was driving around in Illinois and I go, it doesn't look that different. I'm in a state that's in a state of emergency. People are kind of going about their normal lives. During the vid, you wouldn't be seeing that kind of stuff. People would be shut out. Most of the businesses would be closed and say, like, don't come in. But, yeah, I just found that funny. Let's talk about... I'm looking over some of these stories, and it's like... A lot of it's like, I don't really know if I'm qualified, because you had the Kansas abortion vote, you had the Arizona primaries, and all the chicanery that came with that.
I don't know about chicanery, but it was a total victory, I hear.
Yeah.
For the right.
Did Kerry Lake officially win?
Kerry Lake swept every county.
Hell yeah.
Every single one.
Heck yeah, bro. Kerry Lake for the win. Yeah, dude, that was insane. Well, I know with specifically Kerry Lake, there was like some voting discrepancies. There were polling places that were turning away Republicans or saying, "Oh, you already turned in something, so you can't vote again." And I know Carrie Lake's opponent was pulling ahead of her before she regained it. But I think the funniest part of that story was that Carrie Lake finally was securing the win, and then the GOP was saying, "Carrie Lake, you need to forfeit. You need to forfeit. There's no way you can possibly win this, Carrie Lake. You gotta give up." And it's like, Carrie goes, "But I'm winning."
Yep.
Why would I concede a loss when I'm clearly winning? That's just, I love that mindset of, oh no, you're winning too much. Hey, just give up. There's no way you can. It's like, but I am winning.
Yeah, here's your results. So that's Democrat governor. That's the incumbent, I guess.
Okay.
We got Carrie Lake,
Yeah.
absolute sweep,
Absolute Chad.
and then I don't care about them. You got Mark Fincham,
Yeah.
swept. Blake Masters,
Yo.
Yup.
Let's go.
Paul Gosar, there he
Yeah.
is. And I don't know who this guy is, but I'm assuming he's good.
Yeah. Dude, Arizona knows what's up. Can we get more states with people in it like Arizona? I was super disappointed in our primary elections. Not a single person who needed to get in won. Doc Washburn lost his primary. Conrad Reynolds lost his primary. What's his name? The dude who was running against
I don't know, but
Bozeman.
I know RJ Hawk lost his.
Yeah. What's his name who was running against Bozeman? Forget his name now. Heath something. But like all these people who were fighting hard for basically turning the Republican Party around and going, look, we need to be back to America first. We need to be focused on what's going on here. We don't need no Zionists in our positions. No one who's going to sell out the American people. We need people who are engaged with the culture, engaged with the people, and not someone sitting in an ivory tower cashing in tax checks and screwing over the people to get back-end business deals to line their own pockets. And not a single person who should have won one here in the state of Arkansas. So, unfortunately for governor, we'll be getting Sarah Huckabee Sanders, which, my sisters like her, and a lot of people that I've talked to like her, but, it's also like...
People who don't really pay attention to politics.
Exactly. They're like, oh, well, she's Mike Huckabee's daughter, and she's a Republican, and, she worked for Trump. And it's like, yeah, but she also completely endorses everything Asa Hutchinson does, which, if you don't live in Arkansas or don't pay attention to our governor, he kind of sold us out multiple times. He signed a bill into law that banned dudes from participating in women's sports, and then immediately said, hey, Supreme Court, you guys got to veto this. Or like he made a conceited effort to get rid of the bill. So like he passed it, but then goes, well, actually we shouldn't be doing that. It's like, you put it into law, my guy. You can't just immediately backtrack to cover your butt.
Yeah, Arkansas seems like a place that doesn't really know what it wants to be.
Yes.
Even though the demographic is mostly red.
Yes.
The government's always like, well, we'll pass these laws to keep them happy, but then also like we're going to enforce mask mandates and do all this other stuff.
Well, the thing is, I think most of us have become too complacent here. Because the thing is, our biggest conservative areas, our biggest red areas, are people who didn't have to deal with the mask mandates. At the very least, like, we live in Saline County. As per Davie, per capita, the most conservative county in the country. And so when the mask mandate stuff happened, yeah, the big businesses would enforce it. But most of us didn't care. We still hung out. We still, did whatever. We didn't really care about any of that. When the BLM stuff was happening in Little Rock, they threatened to come to our neighborhood. What happened? Our police force was there at every interstate exit. We had people at the entrances of our neighborhood with freaking guns cocked saying, we dare you to. So we're a little community that's basically like, yeah, don't F with us. But the thing is, because we've kind of been lulled into this complacency of, red until we're dead, right? So Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she worked for Trump. She must be good. Or French Hill was in before. I guess he's fine. I've met John Bozeman. He seemed like a cool dude. Didn't know he was selling us out at the time, mostly because I was also like 12 or 13. But it's just this, we don't really know what's going on because we've never really had to be confronted with the consequences of that, at least here in Saline County, I'm sure in other counties. But you have people in, say, Pulaski County or up north in the Fayetteville area who are mostly left oriented, so they're starting to become galvanized in those pockets of the state, so they're coming out in full force and trying to endorse this. But because they don't have the numbers yet, they can't really gain a foothold. So they're the only way for like the elite leftists to really get the policies they want from Arkansas is to just sneak in rhinos into the Republican Party, because we're red until we're dead. We're not. Let's try to find people who are America first, who do care about the people.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it. But we also suffer from having way too many college towns. I didn't realize how many universities we had in Arkansas until I had to start looking for some, because I knew the big ones. University of Arkansas, A-State, UCA. But UCA's in Conway. There are 3 colleges in that one town, and most people in that town are super liberal and super retarded. But, what's the difference? I kid. I love all my lefty liberal friends. I just think you're retarded. No, I love you. But
and I think the 3 places that are most blue out of everywhere are Northwest Arkansas, like Fayetteville area, Little Rock, and Pine Bluff.
Crime Bluff. Yeah.
The armpit of Arkansas.
The armpit of Arkansas. A place that's really beautiful. A place with the highest murder rate
One of the most dangerous cities in America, on par with Detroit and Baltimore.
Yes. And then a town that's literally has the nickname Crime Bluff. So that should show that's just a good little microcosm of maybe leftist politics aren't the best. But yeah, we are kind of just sleeping on our hands and kind of flying solo autopilot. And this election cycle has kind of made me back the opinion or the view that voting isn't a right, it's a privilege. It's not a right outlined in the Constitution. So I think there needs to be some way to discern if you are a proper fit to vote. I know there's been the idea of floating around election by committee. So something like delegates of people who know what's going on, who represent the party as a whole, voting for the primaries, and these people are going to be the ones who represent our views. Because clearly what we're doing right now isn't working. We are voting for people who hate us and don't want us to succeed as a country. Because we have uninformed voters who go to the ballot box because, well, it's my right to vote, and you should vote for your country because it's your duty as a citizen. No, it's your duty to vote with the knowledge of who the right person to vote for is, for your respective parties. And if you don't know what's going on, just don't vote, man. I personally find no shame in not voting. I know I've talked to a couple people who think, oh, well, you didn't vote this election cycle. You're the reason so-and-so won. You're the reason Biden won. Or, oh, well, you didn't like Trump, so you voted third party. Well, you're the reason why Trump lost and Biden won. No, I don't necessarily think that. If you're informed with your vote, I don't really care how you vote. If you know what you're voting for, that's all I really care about. I mean, ideally, I would want less people who vote for Biden to vote, but, one step at a time. But
well, we just institute an IQ test and boom.
Yeah.
They stop voting.
Exactly. But speaking of voting for Trump, there's been this little debate going on the right for the past couple months that I've noticed. And I don't know if I've talked to you about it, but there's been this whole debate on DeSantis versus Trump, who should get the primary come 2024, who will get the primary 2024. We're not political analysts. But I know there's been this whole debate, and now people are like, the Trumpians are attacking DeSantis, and then the hardcore DeSantis people are attacking Trump. And personally, for me, I don't really care either way. I don't think Trump's necessarily our guy right now. I think if he shapes up a little bit, that'll be fine. But he shilled for the jabs, super hardcore. He was the one who tried to push forward the red flag laws. And then DeSantis also does the same thing, plus he's a Zionist, from what I've seen. So, I don't know. I think DeSantis serves better to be in Florida. Just because he's doing really well there, and I don't think on a national stage he might be the right choice for us, because we don't know how he can handle national press from a national stage. On top of that, I would rather have a fortified state than a dude trying to scramble to fortify an entire country. But I don't know. Trump's going to be in his 80s, right?
Something like that.
And he just, like, he's still as entertaining as ever, but he's also just, he's been saying some things I don't particularly like recently. I love 2016 Trump. I'm completely on board with 2016 Trump. 2016 Trump was a massive red pill for me. Because it was like, oh, Trump's the worst. And I got in and made fun of Trump, and then I actually listened to what he had to say and go, yo, I kind of like this dude. So I credit him with that, but man, like recently, just he brought the Johnson & Johnson guys up on stage and was like, oh, look, these are my guys. I love these guys. Look at them. They gave my administration $30 million. Yeah, that was an awful Trump impression. Hold on. I can do a better one. Listen. I lost it. I'm too tired for this. Listen, you're just gonna have to stick the jab in your arm, okay? Okay, it's not gonna hurt. Just stick the jab in your arm, and it's all gonna be fine. I'm Donald J. Trump. I approve this message. J&J. I love these guys. They're perhaps the best guys. Okay? I think we should implement red flag laws. All right? Just you say you look. I know who you are, Jimmy. You call me the N-word on another Call of Duty lobby. I'm gonna take your AR-15s, okay? All of them, all three that's in the, underneath your bed, and the 15 that your dad owns in the garage. All right? That was also a bad Trump impression, but I kind of ran with it. When I'm tired and there's pressure, I can't do impressions too well. I love doing impressions. I want to be I think it'd be fun to do be an impressionist one day.
Yeah, but I think going into 2024, I think Trump is probably our best bet.
Yeah,
because it's
either he killed at CPAC, didn't he? He got like some massive polls, and after CPAC, Soros funded CPAC, but still.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't think that DeSantis is really like a big conservative. I think really he's just doing what he sees needs to be done in his state.
Yeah.
But I also feel like he's not really actually that conservative. If we put him as leader of the country, he'd probably be a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think he's doing really well in Florida.
Yeah.
And he probably just needs to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah, the fact that he kind of came out of nowhere in that election and was just kind of like, oh, shoot, here comes this dude named DeSantis. Like, just kind of coming out of nowhere, gaining all these votes. Suddenly his opponent gets caught in a hotel room with, I think, a male hooker. And that takes him out of the race. Yeah, just a little convenient. I'm not saying, but I'm also saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like, a DeSantis hater, but, because he's doing good in the state of Florida, but...
And he's setting a good example for other Republican governors on what it means, what it looks like to take action.
Yes, at the very least, there's that. And if you look at every Republican governor in this country, they're all a bunch of freaking weak-willed ninnies to pull that, 70s, 60s insult out of my back pocket. But like him, what's her face in Iowa? Kim Reynolds? I think it's Kim Reynolds in Iowa. She's doing good. But outside of that, I mean, the South Dakota governor did good for like a month before retracting on dudes who play women's sports. And then, our issues with ASA here in Arkansas, Texas, you have Greg Abbott who tries really hard to be a conservative. He's doing his darndest.
I think he's probably the same as Asa. Like he's like, oh, I'm a conservative, but then he'd doesn't act like it.
He doesn't act like it. He doesn't back policies that would benefit his state. I will say, I do find it funny that he's busing illegal immigrants to like D.C., New York City. That's hilarious, and that's more of what he needs to do. Just like, hey, you guys get to deal with them now. But unfortunately, he's way too wishy-washy on a lot of this stuff too.
But have you seen this one?
Oh yeah. First speech back for listeners. In first speech back in D.C., Trump confirms he'll rule like a dictator in second term.
Yep. Former president wants to start executing drug dealers
Heck yeah.
and calling in the National Guard without going through the proper channels first.
Yes. No, I think I saw that one clip where he said he wanted to kill drug dealers. Frankly, I think we should give them the capital punishment. We should put them in the electrical chair. You sell a drop of weed to someone, boom, the cap goes on, you're getting electrified to kingdom come. It'll be like Electro's origin story all over again.
Yeah. I think this would be exciting if this happens.
Yes,
we get 2016 Trump, but he's not playing around.
Yeah, this is 2016 Trump knowing what he's messing with in D.C. I think part of what happened with him was he was just riding the high of trolling the deep state and trolling the swamp and trolling the established media, but he got blindsided by how powerful they actually were. Freaking, Jared Kushner and what's his face that he appointed to lead the FBI after getting rid of James Comey.
I don't know.
He testified. The FBI is having their whole hearing this week, which is a big sham, but it is what it is. But yeah, I think he just kind of got blindsided by how deep his opponents could get into his organization and his administration. So I think this time now it's just, if we get no holds barred Trump and just like going through, he's like, you're fired.
I think he said he was going to fire something like 30,000 government agents, or even maybe even more than that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Epic.
Abolish the ATF.
Yeah. The question then becomes, if he does win the primary, which, very likely he probably will, would he win the election? Do you think?
It depends on who he's up against.
Yeah.
If they try and run Kamala, yeah, because she's not going to win. Biden, maybe, because he's senile and he's not going to hold up in a debate.
Yeah.
If they try Newsom, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't figure Newsom out because he's a good-looking dude for a Democrat politician.
Yeah, he's got the look. He can get on TV and talk.
Yeah,
and say stuff.
But he just comes off as an incredibly unlikable person anytime he speaks.
Yeah, he's kind of like the owner of a club or something.
Yeah,
very slimy dude.
Yeah. So I don't know, because what would the mindset of the American people? Because obviously this past election kind of means no to say on certain media platforms, but let's just say it was heavily fortified.
The most fair and free election of all time.
Most fair and free election of all time. No voter fraud happened. Absolutely zero, even though that's a statistical improbability. But that's what we're gonna roll with.
Except in 2016, Trump did not win.
No,
says
that was
Hillary Clinton and
Russian
everybody else. Russia did that.
Russian interference. I don't care that we actually had an investigation into all these very nonsense claims that disproved all of it. No, it was Russia. But so how many people would have turned against Trump at this time, and how many people would still have faith in Trump? Because I know, well, I'll say this. During his run in his term of office, he won over a bunch of people. First off, he had a bunch of young people who loved him, who were turning 18 as he was running again. You have multiple prominent personalities and people that I know of who didn't vote for Trump the first time around. They said, yeah, we don't like him, we're not going to vote for him, but he still won. And now they've become galvanized for him. I can't imagine he lost supporters. But do you think that the 4-year gap of Biden would re-galvanize that group to go for Trump? Or do you think DeSantis is making enough of a name for himself to where he would be more of a threat to Biden's corpse or whoever they replace Biden with?
Well, honestly, I think the 4-year gap, if Trump drops the vaccine thing
Mm-hmm.
and some of the other failures and he just goes full tilt, I think
Yeah.
the 4-year gap will actually help people forget the last 2 years where he kind of didn't do anything. And
he kind of gave the country over to Fauci and Deborah Birx and those fun individuals that are still trying to remain relevant on TV. I think Deborah Birx released a new book, and now Fauci's coming back on TV trying to give advice on more vid stuff and maybe a little bit of monkeypox.
no, I could not care less about that dude.
Dude, I know. Yeah, just shut up and go retire, man. You're older than Biden. Like, just go away. Go away. I don't want to hate old people, but
But they're ruining our country.
yeah, I know. I don't want to hate old people because I love all the old people I know. They have so much wisdom to bestow. But for whatever reason, they elected the most retarded amongst their generation to run this country. And now we're stuck with Cocaine Mitch and Funbags Pelosi.
Nope.
What? What? That's what I'm going to call her now.
Yeah, say that to her face.
Say that to her.
Like Alex Stein to AOC.
Yeah. Hey, that's the only way to bring him down. What the devil hates most is to be mocked, so I mock him on a daily basis. And that's the same with all of the people who serve his agenda. You don't get by trying to criticize AOC or by trying to go, oh, well, you're a socialist or whatever. Nah, you got to pull an Alex Stein and go, yo, there's my favorite big booty Latina, and then just make that your running joke. He still calls her his big booty Latina girlfriend to this day. And that just gets on her nerves. Her little TikTok video was the funniest thing, where she was like complaining about it, and she goes, and then this guy, and zooms in on Alex, and he just
him in the
looks up,
bathroom, and he's like,
and he
hey.
just waves. That's the funniest thing.
Also, I like how her boyfriend just walked by.
Walk by, yeah. She was the one who was going to stick up for herself. She got herself a real winner there.
Yeah, he just eyes straight forward, keep walking up the stairs.
Just no confrontation. Well, because I mean, to be fair, Alex Stein is a really tall dude, but still, you're gonna let your girlfriend go after this dude.
I think her boyfriend is also kind of tall,
He is, but he also
like a big dude.
he's also just like,
He was also wearing a mask outside
yeah. Well,
in 2022.
in 2020, it is current year. Don't stop wearing masks outside, man. I'm getting very close to the point where I'm just gonna start publicly shaming you. Like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a freaking jerk in public. But if I see you wearing a mask, if you walk up in my church wearing a mask, it's getting very close to where I'm just gonna be like, yo, loser, take that off. It's current year, my guy. Face mask, so 2021. So 2020.
No, it's all about monkeypox now.
Yeah, put that mask on your butt. That'll do a lot more for you. It'll be an extra layer of protection in the back door entrance. I never understood that. Like, I don't want to get into that. That's a disgusting conversation. That's where
sodomy.
That's where poop comes out. What's the appeal? I don't understand that. I've never understood that, man.
No, I mean, I guess if you're gay, it's really the only way you can do it.
Well,
but,
yeah,
but then straight people are doing it. It's like, are you sure you're straight, bro?
Yeah, are you sure you're straight?
There's another hole right there.
Yeah, and that's the one biologically designed for this. This is just like weird. Like, oh my gosh, and how does that not hurt for the other person? Like, if you got to squeeze out a big old turd, that hurts sometimes. How are you freaking? How are you just sitting there and taking it and going, yeah, no, this is fine. I enjoy it. There's, as far as I'm aware, there's biologically no pleasure nerve centers around your butt. As far as I can tell.
I don't think so, but I guess in women it's like right next to each other.
Yeah, but like for a dude,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not a biologist.
I'm not a biologist. I don't know. This is what happens when we record an episode at night.
Yeah, this is
hour
1 minute 4:30.
Yeah, this is we don't even need to drink for a show. We're just, at least I don't.
They say being super tired is the same as being drunk.
Yeah.
Like when you're driving.
That's very true. I've fallen aslead multiple times while driving.
But it's not illegal to drive sleepy.
Nope, until you get in a wreck. No, I've straight up. I had to drive down to Dallas at freaking 5 o'clock in the morning, and I barely got any sleep that night. And Dallas is about a 5-hour drive from where I live, and I fell asleep on the road for maybe 10 seconds. But it was still like I just like drifted off, and then just woke up, and I was a couple miles down the road. Oh, shoot. And I'm trying to, I'm freaking out trying to correct the car. Oh, man. It is scary falling asleep when you're driving.
No, I've never fallen asleep, but I've driven while I was borderline.
Yeah. That's happened to me plenty of times where I'm fine, and then I get just hit with a wave of exhaustion. And suddenly I'm trying to just fight it and try to just keep going. Mm-hmm. It is the scariest thing to be behind the wheel of a vehicle, and you're just afraid you're about to just lose consciousness.
Yeah, I guess it's worse than drunk driving, because I guess when you're drunk, you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have the brain power to think, oh no, this is dangerous.
When you're tired, you are actively fighting and you're using more energy doing that. You're actively fighting yourself to stay awake, but in doing that, you're burning more energy, so you're getting more tired.
And you know it's dangerous, and you know you're...
Yeah, you're fully aware of what's going on. You just can't control it. That would be... That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's the inverse of drunk driving.
Yeah. But it's still entertaining. I'm very entertaining when I'm tired. As long as I get past the point of trying to stay awake, and I get that extra boost of adrenaline, and suddenly I'm just going, but nothing's working right in my brain, my brain cells, and I just keep getting and going.
I do that. Although I usually get really, really paranoid late at night.
Dude,
I start hearing things and stuff.
I'm not a fan of the dark. I have an overactive imagination, so anytime, right now I'm currently living in a 3-floor house by myself, and I don't like having to lock up for the night and having to go around and turn off all the lights, especially the basement. I turn off the lights and I book it up the stairs. I know there's nothing down there, but I'm like,
but
there might. There's on the off chance. I'm not letting some homeless dude sneak into the basement and try to grab me the minute the lights are out.
Yeah, it's always, I get the feeling like someone's watching me, even though I know there's nobody back there. Yeah. But I gotta get to my bedroom. Yeah, shut that door.
I close it, I lock it, and I do not leave it until I don't touch it until the sun comes up. I'm not dealing with that. I'm locking my door, and this is the only area in which I'm gonna go until I go to bed.
Yeah.
But that was a bit of a side tangent.
Well, and that is what conversation is about.
That is very much so. Other news this week, the new Al-Qaeda leader, his name is Ayman al-Zawahiri.
Well, the former new Al-Qaeda leader.
The old new Al-Qaeda leader. We killed him in a missile strike, allegedly. I wouldn't put it past the government to just lie about it, especially this administration. But for right now, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, even though I probably shouldn't. But Ayman al-Zawahiri was killed in a drone strike, and it only took us a decade
or two. He was involved in 9/11.
Yeah, he was involved in 9/11. Just, we finally got him when he was an elder.
He may have been a co-founder of Al-Qaeda. I don't remember.
Okay.
But he was like an OG, if that's what you want to call it.
He was one of the OGs. He was elderly, and I think he might have even been retired. Literally not planning to do anything with Al-Qaeda. Just look, I'm just going to go back to my home, and I'm just going to chill. And then we missile striked him, which, I'm not saying that to be like, oh, man, poor him, but I'm like, we really got to him after he was done being threats. we let him get away with all that he did, but now we finally got him, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him. But I don't know if you saw this. He was staying at the home of a New York Times contributor.
Well, I think this is kind of a joke.
Oh, it was?
Well, because this guy, he did contribute to the New York Times.
Okay.
But, he's not like a contributor.
Okay.
He's just him, and he's the face of the Taliban, I guess.
Okay. Oh, he's like the Taliban
Like the
correspondent.
yeah, correspondent, like the media guy.
The Talibanian correspondent. That's kind of funny. That makes it even funnier. But yeah, see,
The
I
New York Times let the Taliban write an article.
Hey, I mean, they're trying to be inclusive with all the voices they include, as long as it's not just straight white man. That's funny. But yeah, another terrorist dead, so I guess if we can give anything to this administration, they killed an elderly retired terrorist. Long after Al-Qaeda was even a thing, to be honest. So, good job, Joe. You did something. Well,
to be fair, Al-Qaeda is back.
that's true.
And that's kind of a thing because the Taliban said they wouldn't allow Al-Qaeda to reign in their territory or to
That's
operate in their territory.
Afghanistan, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So Al-Qaeda being there is kind of a red flag. But other than that, I mean...
So what you're saying is we might see another Afghan war break out, at least amongst those factions.
Well, they're allowing them there.
Okay.
I mean, the Taliban runs the government, and they knew that Al-Qaeda was there. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting indeed. So, a little bit of, I guess, government corruption.
Well, did you really think the Taliban was going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll not let Al-Qaeda work here? Okay, U.S. government, we'll keep our word.
We'll keep our word.
Psych.
The Taliban's very trustworthy. Dude, at this point, look, I don't know if this is the right position to have, but I've become very much like a Monroe Doctrine guy. Like, just leave the freaking other countries alone. Let's just try to fortify our own country and make it good. Because our dealings with foreign powers are completely ruining us.
Well, I mean, I understand a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Like, because right now we don't really make that much.
Yeah.
Like, if Taiwan gets invaded, they make all the processes.
62 or something. Like they make a large chunk of our imports.
Well, I think they make like 98% of all the whatever the microprocessors or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And those are huge for tech infrastructure.
Yeah.
So if we lose that, we lose a lot of stuff. So
well,
being there is
yeah,
not just because we love Taiwan, but because it's a huge part of our infrastructure.
Yeah. We're heavily reliant.
At least while we don't make those things here.
And that's the economic reason why we would stand with Taiwan and call them a country, even though our own White House rejects it, and we don't care about Ukraine because they're literally just a puppet government. But, that's a whole nother thing.
Hunter Biden likes Ukraine.
Dude, he loves Ukraine a lot.
And their women.
And their women. Of all ages. Yeah. But... hey, you know what? Speaking of Taiwan, at least Nancy Pelosi is standing up for him. Good for her.
Did she come back or is she still there?
I think her plane left Thursday, maybe. So she might be back. She might have gone to China. I'm not sure. I stopped.
Oh, I doubt she went to China.
Yeah, but I stopped hearing anything once her plane left Taiwan. I
know China's doing ballistic missile drills over Taiwan right now.
Jeez.
And live fire.
Here's the thing
helicopters
too.
And stuff.
I don't think Pelosi really cares about Taiwan because her NVIDIA plant is there.
The gaming processor.
The gaming processor company that her husband just so happened to get a buttload of stocks in before Congress passed a bill that made those stock prices skyrocket.
Oh yeah.
So,
he is getting drunk right now.
He's getting drunk. So, just saying that's really the only reason they went was just to check those out and be like, oh yeah, here's our business interest. We don't care if we risk literally getting missile striked or pissing China off enough to start a World War III with us. We got to get them NVIDIA money in, baby.
Oh yeah,
man. If you want to get rich, here's my advice to you. Listen, my father is a financial advisor now. He used to do the news, but he quit that because the news is retarded now. And so he became a financial advisor. So I know what I'm talking about. If you want to get rich, I'm not stealing this advice from anyone else. You just have to marry Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi and use her insider stock tips to get rich. And a foolproof plan. Just find a nice looking young Democratic congresswoman and you'll be swimming in that cash.
And then maybe in 60 years, it'll pay off.
It'll pay off. Look, and here's the thing too. You don't even need to seal the deal. You don't need to seal the deal with that marriage. Psh, that's just an easy way for you to. Whoa, is that her with Kennedy?
Yeah, here, let me pull it up.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she found her way in on the ground floor. All right, and then
Dang, was she one of Kennedy's lady friends?
I mean, what do you think?
I mean, he was a notorious ladies' man. Look, I'm a Kennedy fan. I think he's cool.
Let me just.
Where's his eyes going?
What do you think?
That's either a terrified face or a face of, man, I'm about to get some.
That's the face of, in 60 years, I'm going to be a
I'm
bajillionaire.
gonna be a bajillionaire.
Just wait until they invent NVIDIA so my husband can
Yep.
invest in those stocks.
See, and she was saying that in that picture too. JFK has no idea what she's talking about. He's just laughing. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, lady, but whatever you say, how about we go in the coat room? Let me see them fun bags.
She's like, now listen, I'm going to tell you about tech stocks.
Whatever you say, whatever you say, Toots, as long as those pants come off. Am I right? No, we love JFK. He was an adulterer, but you know what? The CIA shot him for a reason. That's all I'm gonna say. If you are a president who pisses off the deep state enough for you to get assassinated, like I got some respect for you. The very least for that. If someone tries to kill you on behalf of the deep state, you were doing something right.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone now who genuinely believes Lee Harvey Oswald was the guy who did it for put the bullet into JFK. I know that's something that is, well, as far as I'm aware, still taught in class, but I mean, you look at everything, and it's just there's no possible way he did it.
I mean, I've seen it, and it's maybe possible, but it's like a 1 in a billion shot.
Yeah, well, if you look at the video, yeah. But I mean, just the fact that what's his name, Jack Ruby, did him in the minute he got into custody, and then he got killed by another guy. But you also had the whole magic bullet theory that they presented in court as this is why Kennedy was killed, where somehow Kennedy got killed by 2 bullets. I think one went through him, I believe, but didn't hit anything vital, and maybe I think hit Jackie or the driver, but the other bullet somehow, I'm trying to remember how it went, but it did an entry wound where it went like through his arm and then into his heart, something like that, where like you look at the bullet's trajectory and it just makes 0 sense how he would have died, where like it somehow had to travel through all of his body to just blast out his head.
Were they the same bullet?
No, I think they were different bullets. Well,
because bullets can ricochet within the body.
Yeah, I think what it was the you might have to look it up. It's been so freaking long since I've looked at this, and I'm tired. But I think the magic bullet theory is basically he was killed with 1 shot, but the way it ricocheted and its trajectory was just impossible. So there would have had to have been another shot, I believe, is what the rationale is.
I've heard that, I think either Brandon Herrera or Grantham did a video on it where he tried to recreate the shot.
Yeah.
Using the rifle that was used in the shooting.
Okay.
Like, because the problem with this theory is the bullet that they have was like too perfect to have come out of a gun through someone's head and into like the ground or in the car or whatever.
Yeah.
Because usually bullets will deform whenever they hit something, but the bullet wasn't. And so he tried to do something where he shoots through this like ballistic dummy and into some jugs of water to try and catch the bullet and see if it disforms or whatever. And it's possible, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just some sketch things. You watch the video and you see the driver. I think it was the driver's duck before any shots was fired. There was the whole anomaly of the umbrella guy who had an umbrella open on a nice sunny day. He raised it right before the gunshot went off, and then he closed it. Everyone's freaking out, and he just kind of sits on the concrete and just like stares ahead emotionlessly. So there's just like these really weird anomalies that people have pulled out. You had the grassy knoll stuff. I would recommend the video I watched. Wendigoon did a really good video. Wendigoon's becoming one of my favorite content creators. He's not He's not particularly political, but he does cover a lot of conspiracy theory related content, which I've gotten really into. He covers a lot of history stuff, and just like weird anomalies of our world, and I find him to be very entertaining and fun and very informative.
Yes.
So this is Brandon Herrera testing out the
this is, we're not going to watch a 17-minute video, but
I mean,
one of the ideas is that this is allegedly the bullet that killed JFK. And see, it's pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
And so he'll go through and he'll shoot the head to try and see if he can actually recreate that perfect bullet somehow going through this ballistic dummy into the jugs of water and ending up like this.
Interesting.
And
okay.
I think the results showed that he may have been able to do it, but
highly unlikely.
But also ballistics, the way they work, they can end up in so many different ways. It's impossible to accurately recreate anything.
Yeah.
Because you can shoot a million shots and all of them end up different. So it's possible, but it's also possible it was faked.
Okay. Interesting. I know Oliver Stone, he made the JFK movie, but he also made a documentary last year called JFK Revisited, where he goes back and revisits a lot of those theories. He is a lefty Hollywood elite, but he's very into the JFK thing, and he's gotten banned by a lot of production companies over it. So, common ground where you can take it, I guess. But yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and you really look at history, the way it's presented to us and the way it's taught and the way it's generally understood. And you look into it just briefly and you come to understand, 90% of it completely false. And we're approaching on time, so I'm not going to get into too many things, but you look into Rosa Parks, you look into MLK, you look into his assassination even, you look into I'm trying to think of some other big events that I can't remember. The moon landing, 9/11. You look into a lot of that different type of things, and you start to find things that don't quite add up. And I'm not saying I completely buy into every crackpot conspiracy. I'm not like Hollow Earth, Flat Earth, whatever. Frankly, I don't care. But you look into a lot of historical events, and to certain extents, there are certain things that do not add up. There are certain things that are just going to look a little funny to you.
With Rosa Parks, it's not that it looks funny. It was just she was an actor.
Well, yeah, it was just it was faked.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah, she stole the glory from 3 working black women in order to get the. Isn't that the activist way? Steal any credit from the working person to put it on yourself. Um,
Yeah, like this
I was like,
this
yeah,
photo right here.
completely.
That guy right there
staged.
is a reporter.
Yeah,
This photo was staged.
yeah. So, just look into. Goodness, I lost my balance. You look into just a lot of what is told to you, and you're going to find out it's fake, specifically after the Industrial Revolution. And then they have to go back pre-Industrial Revolution to make things up. I mean, you go as far back as the Pilgrims, and the way it's presented in schools or in mainstream media, that's not exactly the relationship Pilgrims had with Native Americans. You know, the whole Thanksgiving is Native American genocide. It's not what it is. You look at a lot of that kind of stuff, and a lot of what's being told to you nowadays is just completely false. And I'm not entirely sure why some of it's falsified, because frankly, I mean, the whole like flat earther thing is like, oh well, how did they know? How did the Universal logo know that the Earth was round? I'm like, I don't really care to look into it enough. Like, look, I will grant you the government lies, but there's certain lies that make sense for the government to tell. There's some rationale. I don't understand why the government would try to go, well, actually, the Earth isn't flat, it's round. How does that impact people's daily lives? How does that cover up anything they've done?
Yep. Also, wouldn't it be really easy to just get the Flat Earth group together and crowdfund a circumnavigation flight?
Yeah.
Like, let's fly around the Earth to see if it's flat or not.
Yeah.
And we'll do it both ways, up this way and up that way.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go, you proved it.
Yeah.
Although I've heard they're like, no, there's like portals and
oh, really? I haven't
like
heard,
if you fly, like Antarctica is like the ice wall.
Yeah, well,
like,
yeah, I've heard of that.
Or like where if you fly down past the South Pole, you actually get shot up by, or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. Interesting. See,
At which point it doesn't matter if the Earth is flat because it functions as if it's round.
Yeah. Well.
And you're just coping.
Yeah, you're just coping, yeah. See, my take on it is I frankly don't care. I don't care of the shape of the Earth. From my basic understanding, it's probably round. But I don't care the shape of the Earth. It doesn't impact my day-to-day life. Like, the way I view it is, if the Earth was flat, if the Earth was hollow, I guess that's a different issue altogether, because then you have lizard people, giants, and all that. But if the world was actually flat, how would my day-to-day life change? Would God still be God and still be the ruler over everything? Would the government still be a bunch of liars and evil people? Yes. Frankly, I don't care. To quote Gone with the Wind, frankly, my darling, or frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. So, I just don't really care about some of those certain debates that are just like, I haven't looked into it. I don't really care enough to look into it to actually formulate my own opinion, because the outcome of it doesn't really change my entire worldview. Like the whole thing with dinosaurs. I don't really care if dinosaurs existed. Because either way, God's still God, government's still evil. My day-to-day life remains unchanged. So, don't particularly care. Like the stuff with JFK, Rosa Parks, all that, that's more interesting because that's definitive proof of government orchestrating events or trying to do something and then convince the public that it's something else. That at the very least you can point to and go, this is the government meddling in people's affairs, and they're still trying to do it today. And with that, we are approaching the hour-and-a-half mark. I didn't think we'd actually get this far. I'm about to keel over and fall asleep. It's almost midnight now. So I'm going to wrap it up. We really should have like a saying or something to wrap this show up with. But we'll come up with that later. For now, thank you for tuning into this show. I am a very tired host, Garrett Inman, host of Alt.tistic, the most retarded political show on the internet. We are missing our co-host Davey right now, hopefully he'll be around next week. If not, I will not be on the road for 6 hours, so I'll have a little bit more time to maybe try to get someone to replace the seat. There's a couple people that we know that I think would be fun to have in studio in my little brother's abandoned bedroom. And then we have our producer Zach, and that has been the show. I'm going to leave it off with this because the church I was volunteering at, he had a good message. And it made me think. He quoted Romans 12:2, which is, don't be conformed to the nature of this world, but be renewed through the transformation of your mind. And then I don't remember the rest of the verse. I'm very bad at memorization of verses. But it kind of reminded me of something of this saying that I've heard a couple times of revival or bust in terms of the state of the U.S. We need a revival. That would imply that Christianity is dead. I think we need a transformation and a renewal of God in our nation and within our daily lives. So I encourage you, if you are a Christian, continue to be renewed by God's word and continue to transform your heart, because transformation is an ever constant thing happening. And that is something we need to continue to do in our society and in our culture, whether that's through engaging in conversations, starting up shows like this, or just like helping people out, praying for people, just showing God's love and showing who God is to people. That's very important. Standing up for truth, standing up for what's right. All of that goes a long way in trying to sustain what about our country made it so great to begin with, and what will allow our country to continue moving forward and not collapse. And I know that really didn't have anything to do with what we were just talking about. I had written that in my notes and I wanted to get to it. So I guess for now we'll sign off with Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to bed.